As we're still in the first half of 2023, we've already seen so many upcoming VR headsets coming out in the future. In this video, we'll look at the Quest VR headset's future products through 2027. So yes, this episode will be focusing entirely on Meta products. Let's first start out by talking about the current product lineups Meta has available for its consumer. At this point, it's no surprise that the Quest 2 is the most popular headset in the market thanks to its affordability compared to other VR headsets in the market, while still being a quality headset, even if some of the user base will tell you that it's not. You also have the less popular Quest Pro, targeted for VR enthusiasts. If you currently own any Quest headsets from Meta, you're actually one of the 20 million Quest users around the world as part of the early adopters of virtual reality. Let's put that into context of how many units that is. You have the Xbox Series X and S at just a tad bit over 20 million units, and the PlayStation 5 at 32 million units. VR obviously has a lot further to go in terms of technology to even compete with console games, and VR covers many more aspects of life than just gaming, but this is still some crazy numbers Meta is putting up. Unfortunately, Quest's road to success is not all roses though. The newer adopters of Quest 2, for example, are just not sticking around the VR scene as much as the early adopters of the device, which came out over 2 years ago. It seems like the new horde of people getting into VR enjoy it for about a month or two and end up putting it away in a closet or somewhere, only to take it out once or twice a month just to kill time. This is probably due to a couple of reasons, one being the software lineup available for VR, and the second is that you have to put on a headset, grab the controllers, and it just takes a little bit more effort instead of just sitting in front of the TV and picking up a controller to play your games. It's sad to say, but it's the honest truth. The big name game studios with massive budgets are not present in VR at this point, so people get bored with the content unless they're able to join a dedicated following of a game like VR Chat, Walkabout Mini Golf, and Among Us VR, just to give it a few examples. I really hope that this trend will start to shift in the coming months or even years, and the popular battle royale game Population 1, shifting the game to a free-to-play, at least on the Quest platform, will hopefully increase and maintain a player base around the headset. I would like to see more games trend in this direction, but I don't blame the VR game studios. There just isn't much you can do in terms of graphics and the processing of the game on a standalone VR headset, and this leads to future VR headsets coming out with increased specs. The next on the Quest lineup is Quest 3, still planned to be released this year in 2023. I have already covered the Quest 3 multiple times on this channel, but new information keeps coming out as the headset becomes closer and closer to launch. As part of the entire roadmap that was leaked from Meta, it ensured that the Quest 3 will be released this year, will be 2 times thinner, at least twice as powerful, and cost slightly more than $400, which is where Quest 2 is being sold at right now. We've heard that Quest 3 will cost somewhere between $300 to $500 directly from Mark Zuckerberg, so piecing the puzzle together, I know it's pretty simple, but it sounds like the Quest 3 will be somewhere around $500 to justify the increased specs and its design. Just as a reminder, I did make a prediction a couple videos back about Quest 3 that if Quest 3 does not get announced in September for an October release, I will be hosting a Quest 3 giveaway on the very first day Quest 3 is announced, so make sure you subscribe so you can see whether my predictions come true or not. Going back to the features, Quest 3 will include a depth sensor, which will offer Smart Guardian mode to help navigate the real world or around the house while you're wearing the headset. This was a feature that was promised to be included in the Quest Pro, but was taken out last minute, and I hope this feature will prevent people from destroying things around the house.
Oh my god!
Going forward from Quest 3, the next possible headset will be released in 2024. The headset's codename is Ventura, and the headset will be marketed very similarly to Quest 2, which means that it will be much more affordable so that Meta can get more people to enter the virtual reality space. In this section about Ventura, it also mentions that the Quest 3 will be targeted more at the VR enthusiasts because of the price, And I think this is a really good thing. If Meta is calling a $500 device a high-end device, we could even see this accessible device in the $200 or even $300 range, which will be kind of insane. Quest 2 is currently $400, but not too long ago, it was selling for $299, and Meta was actually losing money on the hardware sale, which made them increase the price, but they could even take a similar approach with Ventura just to attract many people who might have never considered a VR headset before. After Ventura, the next in the lineup is codenamed La Jolla. La Jolla will be a possible successor to the Meta Quest Pro, and we don't know the exact year this headset will release, as the report says it's way out in the future after the Ventura release. With this information and what I've seen from Meta, I can take an educated guess at the possible release in 2025 or 26. This device, La Jolla, is supposed to feature photorealistic avatars like the picture you see of Mark Zuck. This will lead towards a futuristic type of work and conferencing in VR, as the Quest Pro lineup will be targeted for professional use cases as well. It also talks about incorporating a lot of the comfort things from Quest Pro and putting it on La Jolla, which I have mixed feelings about, since the Quest Pro is comfortable to have on my head for about 30 to 45 minutes, and it starts to hurt a bit. La Jolla will most likely feature split architecture processing, where you have the headset on your head with a processor, as well as some sort of external device that can handle the heavier processing for the headset, as well as act as a battery pack for the headset. This is the way Apple's upcoming Reality Pro will most likely handle the battery and processing of the headset, and it may be where the VR industry as a whole is heading towards. Virtual reality and mixed reality is not the only thing Meta has on the table. We also heard about the upcoming lineup of AR headsets coming from Meta. Right now, Meta has a partnership with Ray-Ban to collaborate on AR glasses technology seen in the Ray-Ban Stories series. The second generation of Ray-Ban Stories is expected to be released in the fall of this year in 2023. I personally wouldn't expect too much in terms of AR technology from this hardware. Knowing Ray-Ban, they wouldn't sacrifice the style of the glasses just to fit more AR technology on them. So I would expect basically a pair of sunglasses that does a few simple things. The bigger leap in AR smart glasses is planned for 2025 as the third generation of the smart glasses series. This will be Meta's first display-enabled smart glasses, which will be sold with a wristband to control the headset or glasses, whichever you want to call it. You can expect to do things like show incoming text messages, scan QR codes, and translate text from a different language in real time. The wristband comes in order to act as the input device to send commands to the headset using electrical signals that pass through your wrist, which gets converted into a computer command by using AI. The wristband technology is definitely something that is really cool, but in terms of what the headset is able to do, it's basically a dumbed down version of smartwatch UI on your face. The true AR glasses that you first imagined with holograms will be released by Meta in 2027. This hardware is expected to be technologically advanced, which also means that it will be very expensive, as it will be something new in the industry unless other companies are able to release something similar before Meta. The project codename for the true AR glasses by Meta is Orion, and apparently it has been in development for 8 years at this point. Meta is planning for an internal launch for employees to test out in 2024 before the release in 2027, so I'm sure there will be many more leaks that come out once the prototype device is handed out. Well, this was a lot to cover and take in, so here's a super quick summary of Meta Quest lineups as we know it today. Quest 3 in 2023, which is an upgraded Quest 2 for around $500. Project Ventura, expected in 2024, will be a much cheaper VR headset to make it more accessible to consumers. Project La Jolla, which will be the next generation of Quest Pro coming out after Ventura. Going to the AR side, we have Ray-Ban Stories second generation possibly this year, the third generation in 2025, and Meta's own AR glasses that could be tested by employees in 2024 for a 2027 release. Walking it back to this year, this video covers the major VR headsets coming out in 2023.